First of all, I want to take the time to thank you all very much for coming out today and trusting me and giving you some information that I found out about. This information has helped my family out tremendously. I got a young lady and her husband on that's going to do a presentation for us today. They're top in the company. They've been around a minute, and they're very, very good and very knowledgeable about what they do. And I want them to speak to us and kind of bring up to speed to tell you a little bit more about the ice wave patches and tell you how things work. Not just the ice wave, but the X39 to be exact. So, Mrs. Monk, that's that she's gonna speak.
Hey, Tony, I'm here.
Okay, mute yourself then, Mr. Troy.
Okay, mute myself. Okay.
Yes, sir. There you go.
I just muted him.
Okay. Yes, sir. So we thank you very much. But again, I'm going to turn it over to Mrs. Monk, and she's going to speak. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I hope to God that this would help you and your family out, like I said, help my family out. And so, and we can converse afterwards and give me a call if you should have any questions as well. The floor is yours, Mrs. Monk. Thank you, ma'am.
Well, thank you so much, Tony and Beverly, for, putting this call together and inviting all your, close friends and relatives. And I just feel honored because I know that you all are very professional people, and, you don't do things that you don't feel good about. And I've got a chance to meet you several times, Tony, and I'm telling you, this is an awesome man that we're talking about and that is hosting this call. So I want to thank you for putting it together and inviting me and trusting me with your friends and whoever else, your colleagues that you've invited to the call. Let me go ahead and introduce myself again and tell you all why I'm here. And Tony, you can mute your video. Again, my name is Verdita Monk. I live out of the Atlanta, Georgia area. My husband and I have been part of a company called LifeWave for about 18 months now. And we were contacted by a friend of ours who, we have a lot of respect for this gentleman. And he told us he had something very important that he needed to share with us. And my husband met him on the expressway, and he handed him a package that had these little patches in it. And that's what we're going to be talking about tonight, is this patch right here, this technology. And he told us it was just amazing. And then he invited us to a call like the one you're on. And we heard testimonies of people experiencing things that you just would not even imagine. I had never in my entire life heard the kinds of things that I heard on this call. And so we were getting ready to go out of town. And what happened immediately when we went out of town was that my mother-in-law, who was 92 years old at the time, was struggling with some severe knee pain. I heard she was bone on bone. They wanted to do surgery, but she didn't want to do surgery because of her age. And we said, well, why don't we try this patch on her? She looked like she was in tears. And so we put the patch on her knee just because we heard what other people were doing. And we put the patch on her knee, and she went to bed. The next morning, she woke up and said that the pain had gone, and she did not get up all night like she normally would with because of the aches and pains. She put ointments, take all kind of pain medicine. It did not help. Well, when we heard how she felt the next morning, we looked at each other and said, this thing might work. So we decided that night when we went to bed, we were going to put the patch on. We put the patch on, and let me tell you what happened. Let me tell you a little bit prior to that. My husband, for 10 years, would choke and cough all during the night. He had sleep apnea, a chronic sleeping disorder, and he also had acid reflux. And let me tell you, it was very disturbing for me. I couldn't even sleep in the same room with him. It was just terrible. And plus it's just dangerous. And so the next morning when we woke up, I realized I had slept so deeply. I mean, it was a very deep sleep, but I also noticed that he had not snored. Now, keep in mind, in our minds, first of all, we're healthy people. We didn't think we needed this patch. But more importantly, we definitely didn't think the patch made him stop snoring. So we just thought, okay, this was a lucky night. The next day we did it again, and he did not snore again. That was November 12th of 2022. My husband has not snored since that time. Now, that's just an example of the many things that this patch will and can do for you. So, that's why I'm here. And what we decided at that moment, when we realized what was happening and when we heard the testimonies similar to ones you're going to hear tonight, we knew that we had to share it with everybody we knew. I mean, it's just no way that we could keep this to ourselves. So that's why I'm here. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pull up a PowerPoint presentation that will more eloquently explain more details of why we're here. Now, this is a question I want to ask you first. Have you been patched? Now, the reason I asked you that question is because somebody on this call may have dropped some patches in the mail. They may have met you somewhere and given you some patches. When you put this patch on, what's going to happen is when you put this patch anywhere in your body, immediately the copper peptides in your body are going to be elevated. I'm going to talk about copper peptides in a moment, but they're going to be elevated. And what happens when they're elevated, your stem cells that are in your body, they're dormant, are going to be reactivated. That is miraculous. Literally, that right there is something that scientists said could never happen. It was impossible. And therefore, this is why this is so significant. But let me tell you why all of this is important. You see, as we get older, our stem cells go dormant. By the time we're 30, half of them are dormant. Why do we need stem cells? Because stem cells are the building blocks of our body. They're what heal our body. Our bodies are designed to heal themselves. So if something goes wrong with your heart, stem cells go to your heart. If something, you fall and hurt your knee or whatever, the stem cells go to your knee. But when you're 30, half of them are dormant. So therefore you don't have the same, benefits as you had when you were younger. By the time we're 60, almost all of the stem cell activity is gone. You guys, over 90%. Therefore, if your stem cells are dormant, what do? Many people who have chronic illnesses like paralysis and cancer and all kinds of things, guess what they do? They start getting, doctors are not able to help them anymore, right? So they start turning to something called stem cell injections. They're going to put a needle, an injection into your body with either stem cells from a baby or somewhere else, or stem cells from one other part of your body and put it where they think you need it. Let me tell you the several things that's wrong with that process. First of all, people do that because they don't have any other choice. They are desperate, right? But guess what happens? That process is localized, meaning if you need the stem cells in your heart, if you put the injection in your knee, it's not going to help your heart. If you have Alzheimer's and they put it in your brain somewhere, it's not going to help you with your heart. You see, that's what I mean by localized. Also, insurance doesn't cover it. You got to come out of your pocket and pay for $10,000, $20,000, $30,000, $50,000. I even heard someone that spent $100,000 on a stem cell injection. Okay. And so if you can't get reimbursed for the insurance, it's very, very expensive and it's localized. And 30% of the time it doesn't work. Why would you want to do that? That doesn't sound like a good option. And this stem cell patch that I'm telling you about is a good option. Let me explain. Let me introduce you. When I told you this was, they said it was not possible for your own stem cells to be reactivated. This gentleman proved them wrong. He's a scientist. His name is David Schmidt. He's the CEO and inventor of the X39 patch. This man has over 180 patents. You see, he's just brilliant. Now, let me tell you how he got started. He was commissioned by the federal government to develop something for the Navy SEALs to keep them energized for over 36 hours at a time. So his first invention was the energy enhancer patch. And it was very successful, started spreading all over the country to all the top coaches in universities, and also doctors were impressed with it. It just spread like wildfire. And so, but then in 2008, he started focusing his attention on stem cell research. But in the meantime, he had been developed all these other patches. Now he has over 180 patents. So he started to focus an attention on stem cell research, and that's when he came up with the X39. This is the masterpiece of everything this man has ever done. Spent over almost $5 million just to bring it to market. Did all kinds of case studies, over 80 case studies. So this patent, this patch is patented. See, when something is patented, it means that it has to be proven. So when you did all the case studies, it proved that what this patch says it does works. What does the patent say? It says that elevates the copper peptides in your body. You see, copper peptides are, heard about copper peptides. They're in the most expensive, skincare products that you can buy. Copper peptides are very, important. And when they are elevated, they reactivate your stem cells. That's the magical part right there. That's the most phenomenal thing on this page. Improve in energy, elevation of antioxidants. It could go on and on of all the things that it does, but it has been proven, which means, and it's been, the fact that we have the patent means that we have the exclusive rights to create this patch in our own FDA registered laboratories. No other company can create this because it is patented. So how does this patch work? Well, it's a proprietary form of phototherapy. Phototherapy is all around us. Like when you go out into the sun, the vitamin D that comes, that what happens doesn't come down. You don't see vitamin D flying around in the air. It is in your body. What the sun does, it elevates the vitamin D in your body. And also like flowers, they have a process called photosynthesis. So this is light therapy, you guys. This is ancient. This has been around for ages. Did you realize that we are light beings? If you have an infrared light and you're in a dark room, you can see people because we have light in our bodies. So this is nothing new, nothing to be afraid of. In the middle of these patches are little tiny, what you call nanocrystals. These crystals reflect the light of your body when you put it on. When you remember, you're a light being. So when you put the crystals on, when you put this on your body, the light of your body reflects off of the crystals. And when it does that, it elevates the copper peptides. That in turn reactivates those stem cells, you guys. This is amazing. So this is non-transdermal, meaning nothing goes into your body. It doesn't affect your, nothing goes into your, penetrates your skin, no drugs or chemicals or stimulants. There's nothing going into your body, and it does not interfere with medications that you're currently taking. This is why so many people, those who are courageous enough to use this patch without necessarily consulting their physician, they're going to their doctor, and the doctor is saying, what have you been doing? And that's because they did it on their own. And once the doctor finds out what they're doing and they give them information that I'm going to tell you about, the doctor says, keep doing what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing. All right. So it's non-invasive and doesn't penetrate in the body. But I want to make sure that you understand these products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or medical condition. We're not saying these products heal you. We're saying that this technology reboots your body. It's just like the sun, elevates your vitamin D. That's all this is. It's just a certain frequency that David Schmidt was able to find in his laboratory, that it was the right frequency to elevate the copper peptides. And now we're producing over 20 million of these patches per day. This is amazing. Now, this company is growing so fast. Listen, you guys, let me tell you about some of the benefits you're going to experience. As we get older, don't you ever see how older people are weak? They're not strong. So it's going to increase your strength. It's going to reduce the inflammation. The inflammation is what causes people to have pain in their knees, pain all over the body. Any kind of pain or disease, there's some inflammation in your body. Increase stamina, increase energy and vitality. Mental clarity is off the chain. I'm telling you, I don't know what I mean. I promise you, I used to get overwhelmed with projects I was working on, but now because of the mental clarity that I'm getting from the patch, I'm just as calm, and I know I can get everything done. Restores the muscular skeletal conditions. You know how as we get older, our bones start getting brittle. If you fall, Lord behold, if you fall, it's going to be hard for your bones to heal. But because this patch is restoring your muscular and your skeletal conditions, that is a plus. This is very important. So we're oh my God, I get excited every time I talk about this. Improving the sleep. I told you about the sleep that my husband and I were able to improve the very first night, and improve skin appearance. So here, you guys, we're here to help you achieve optimal health, a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being. And once again, I want to be careful to let you know, we're not saying this product is going to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or medical condition. Now, I told you there were 80 case studies, right? And these case studies are documented on this site right here. You can write this down or take a screenshot if you want. Thisisit.info.com. And all what they discovered, this is actual results. Now, in those case studies, they were able to determine that in the first few days of wearing the patch, over 4,000 genes begin to reset. Now, I know you've heard of a term called resveratrol that's in red wine. They say that when you drink red wine, it helps your heart, which in turn helps you live longer. But that's going to only reset 2 genes, whereas this patch resets 4,000 genes within a couple of days. Within 6 weeks, the brain becomes balanced. What do I mean about brains becoming balanced? Have you ever heard of children that are autistic? What about people that have Alzheimer's and dementia? What about people that are depressed? What about people that have PTSD? That means their brain is unbalanced. Within 6 weeks, your brain becomes balanced. Okay, we have so many testimonies of people, children that were autistic, couldn't swing, couldn't ride a bike. In just a matter of weeks, they can do all of that. That is tremendous. Within 3 months, your collagen is increased. Did you know that the collagen is all through your body? It's connecting your bones. It's in your muscles. It's everywhere in your body. But it increases. But see, it depletes itself when we get older. So this is a very impressive. People get collagen injections as well. Within 6 months, the heart reverses in age. Now, you guys, this is a huge one. Do you realize that every 6 months that you wear this patch, your heart reverses 8 years? And this is based on the case studies. I even met a lady in Atlanta. When I met her a year ago, see, the patch is about 4 years old now. This lady is one of the first people that got a chance to start using this patch. And here's the key: stay on the patch. This is not something you just put on a day or just because your pain or whatever went away, you stop using it. No, this is a lifestyle. If you want to, as you get older, if you want to be around when you're 100 years old, but you don't want to be crippled walking around and no energy, you want to keep wearing a patch. So this lady took a test called the vascular age test, and they were able to determine in that test, after wearing this patch for 2.5 years, her heart was determined at 35 years old. They said, you're 35 years old, your body is in it. She said, but they said, well, there's a mistake with this machine, because we know that you're not 35 years old. She says, oh no, it's nothing wrong with that machine. I've been wearing this patch for 2.5 years. So if 2.5 years, every 6 months, that's 5 increments of 6 months. Remember, I have a degree in mathematics. I forgot to tell you that part. But if it's 5 increments of 6 months, 5 times 8 years, remember it versus 8 years, 5 times 8 is 40 years. But her actual age is 73. Her heart measured at 35 years old. That's what I mean when I say your heart reverses in age. And we got plenty of people who've had heart conditions, and those conditions went away simply because they've been wearing this patch. So this is not anti-aging, you guys. We are talking about reversing your age reversing, younger all the time you're wearing this patch. Now, here's just a topography map just showing a lady who was 77 years old, where they placed a patch on the back of her neck. And in the first session, you see all this orangey red area, that's inflammation. And she had lack of brain coherence. 3 weeks later, she went back. They looked at it again, and there was no more inflammation in her brain. There was improved brain coherence. Session 3, 6 weeks of wearing the patch, it was a complete turnaround. There was better brain coherence. And it can be noted that when she came in, her brain was hyperactive. Her brain calmed down dramatically at the second visit. And after wearing the patch for 3 weeks, her brain remained calm after wearing the patch for 6 weeks. You guys, this is documented. This is documentation right here. Now, how do you wear this patch? Very simple. Anywhere on your body. You're looking at 2 diagrams where they used the patch during the case studies, just so they could be consistent. Everybody has to do the same case study. So they had group A, group B. I like to put mine behind my C7 vertebrae, like in this diagram, or sometimes I put it on my belly button. It doesn't matter. You could put it, on your arm, anywhere. So you wear the patch for 12 hours on and 12 hours off. We wake up in the morning at 8 o'clock, put it on at 8 o'clock tonight. Matter of fact, it's time for me to take mine off. Then you throw the patch away. Then you put in, I mean, it doesn't have to be 8 o'clock. It could be 7 o'clock. I'm just giving an example. The next day you put another patch on and repeat. See, you want your body to repair and rejuvenate in between when you're resting. And then you want to drink plenty of water. It's very important for you to be hydrated because we're talking about energy flowing through your body. We're also talking about toxins. This patch is going to start detoxing your body, getting those toxins out, and this water is going to flush the toxins. Okay, so that's cool. Now, I could go on and on because as you probably know by now, this is a very sophisticated patch. What we're talking about is the new way of medicine. If you had a choice of having this major surgery on your body that is going to leave you debilitated for weeks, and the choice of wearing this patch, which you're going to hear some examples in a moment that makes you realize, I have a choice. I could be using a patch. I don't have to have surgery. Let me tell you what I mean by that real quick, because I do want to bring one of these testimonies out. I talked to this lady about a week ago, and that's the first time I ever talked to her. And she told me that she was having migraines for 25 years, but for the last 15 years, they were very debilitating. And she had 2 surgeries where they were putting nerve blocks in her brain. And she said they would go through with a needle, and she could not move because if she moved it, she could be paralyzed. The first time she did the surgery, it worked for 5 days, and she was having migraines 5 days a week for 25 years. Okay, and so after 5 days, the nerve block stopped working. The second time she got the nerve block, it did not work at all. She was due for surgery this past Tuesday, 2 days ago. Fortunately enough, 2 weeks ago, someone stopped by her house and patched her with this patch and put it on her neck. I don't know why they chose that, but they put it on her neck. She said almost immediately her migraine stopped. She was literally about to have another one of those surgeries, and I think she said it was pretty expensive. So do you see what I mean? How you can avoid surgery sometimes? So I'm going to step out of the way because I want to introduce you to some people that will tell you exactly what the possibilities are, or what is done for them. The first person I want to call up is Ms. Gwen Millsap out of the North Carolina area. Ms. Gwen, can you unmute yourself and share whatever you want to share with us? Because you've not only had experienced testimonies yourself, but other people as well. But take about 3 minutes and share your testimony for us.
Hey, good evening, everyone. Thank you, Verdita. I will be quick, but this is an awesome, awesome testimony. We had a member of our church that had a stroke in January, and she was paralyzed on her whole left side. She had no feeling in her arms, legs, or anything. So she stayed in the hospital for 4 weeks, and no, I think it was 3 weeks, and then they sent her to rehab. And when they sent her to rehab, she stayed there for 4 weeks. And after her therapy, she came home on a walker, still had no, she couldn't open and close her hands, her left hand. And she said the feeling was coming back. Well, she called me, her daughter did, because she had heard about the patches. And I went, this was the first week of March. She came home, she went to rehab, and she came home after 4 weeks. So I went to her and I patched her the first week of April. She was on a walker dragging her whole left side. She couldn't walk. After I patched her and I sit there with her, a few minutes later, she was saying, she said, this patch is doing something. And I put the X39 on her back. She said, I just feel something, like something's happening in my body. Well, I went home and left her 3 patches, and she called me back, and 3 days later, this was on a Wednesday that I went, and she called me, and her daughter said, she said, can you get some patches to my daughter? I've used those patches and I can tell a difference. She had started getting the feeling back in her hand and her arm. And after using the patch for 7 days, she was able to come off of her walker. Her feeling came back in her leg and her foot. And after 10 days, she was able to use a cane. Last Sunday, the 28th of April, she drove herself to church. She had to have somebody in the car with her, but she was able to drive herself. And today we saw her at prayer in the park, unity prayer in the park, and she drove herself by herself. She said, I have never felt so good in my life. She has lost about 15 pounds and her blood pressure is normal. All her vitals are normal, and the doctor has given her a good report and a 6-month return to come back. So she is so excited because she didn't think she would be able to walk at all.
That is amazing. So you all see, don't go away, Gwen. You all see that this has changed this lady's life. Do you think about it if that was your mom or somebody with a stroke and dragging her leg and stuff? But now let me really quickly, Gwen, just tell them how long. I'll ask you this question. You said your youngest daughter, what, 47 years old or something like that?
Mika, yeah, she's
Yeah.
49. Yeah.
Okay, she's 49. And when you had her, what happened to you?
I had total pain, labor in my back, and it damaged my sciatic nerve. So for 49 years, I walked around in severe pain. And after so long, you get adjusted to it. You know there's nothing. You take Tylenol PM, and when you stress and you're bending and you're moving, it flares up. So I could do nothing but sit, put heating pads on it, and I was in such excruciating pain. And I had leg cramps that was associated with that sciatic nerve. And when we went in December, they bought the boot camp to our church, and we experienced the patches was introduced to us at our church. When they put that patch on the back of my neck, within 2 minutes, I could feel all the pain leaving my body. It was like an out of body experience. I was pain free. I had no clue that. I mean, my mind kept saying, "This is not real. You know your body's hurting," but I was pain free, and that sold me. That what
Absolutely.
took my belief to the roof. And
Yeah.
I haven't had any problem. Now, if I overdo something or something like that, naturally I have something to the next day. But my sciatic is fine, and I can do anything, exercise, do all my gardening, everything I was doing before. My leg cramps are gone. I had leg cramp surgery. I mean the vein surgery, and it's still they came back. But since I was using that X39, I haven't had any leg cramps or anything.
That is amazing. And so you
It
see everybody, because of what is happening with Gwen, she is so generous with her giving. She is touching everybody that she knows. And I say her hands are anointed because it seems like everybody she patches, I mean, they just have this wonderful experience. So thank you for sharing, Gwen, and thank you for all you do. And Miss Gwen is just doing so well with this. And we appreciate all you do, Gwen.
You're welcome. Thank
All
you.
right. So we got another guest on the line. If Miss Angela McMillan would come on and share your powerful testimony, I'm telling y'all, this might put you to tears, the testimony that she has. Come on, Miss Angie, you share your testimony.
Well, hello, everybody. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Well, let's see. I'm going back to December the 11th because I was at the church for my mother. That was my mother that was just talking. And I was there, and let me give you a little bit of my background. That day that I went to the church, I was in excruciating pain. I have been in such pain to where literally it would take me from Monday to Friday to get up enough strength to go out my house. I've been diagnosed with mixed connective tissue disease and rheumatoid arthritis. So, I mean, taking steps for me was horrible. I would take about 8 or 9 steps and then have to sit down, and then after that I'd go back 8 or 9 steps and get back into bed. And I would do that all week long up until time for me to try to get out to go to church or me to go somewhere. So long story short, this Friday came and we were having this mobile boot camp trauma thing at our church, and we was introduced to the patch. And they were talking about, all I could hear her say, it was like, want, inflammation. And I heard inflammation, and I was like, what? Wait a minute now, wait a minute. She said it would help your inflammation. And my doctors have been telling me that my body was full of inflammation. And that's why I was in so much pain. They kept telling me I needed to go get massages. I was doing that, all of that, but still hadn't worked like it should. And so they put the patch on me. Well, when I got there, first of all, I'm a hairstylist by trade, been doing hair for over 34 years. And I couldn't lift my arms no higher than this. So I was so weak and my body hurt so bad that I couldn't do none of this. So when I put the patch on, they put the patch on me, I was sitting there and I was like, well, because I heard them say some people are one patch wonder and some people it might take a little longer. And I just figured for myself, because I knew I was in severe pain. So for me, I was like, it's probably going to take a little while. So by the time I got home, I was able to start moving my arms up and down like this. Now, before I couldn't even lift them. So then I was able to start doing this, and I was like, okay. But I was still in pain. So I wore it that day. I wore it the whole day. And I noticed, because see, I had like insomnia also, because I couldn't sleep good at night at all. And that first night that I had the patches, my husband said that, he said, babe, you ain't slept like that in forever. He said, I said, what do you mean? He said, you got one of the best nights rest that you done had in a long time. And I was like, why you say that? He said, because you snored all night. But I was snoring because my body has not had no rest. So then after that, I started getting rest. And then the next night I put it on, there was no snoring, but I did sleep. I slept good. And then within 3 days, I was able to start doing this again, moving my arms up and down and walking and up and have some move. Frequently, I was able to move and things are like that. And not only that, I had varicose veins on my legs, and I went to the bathroom, was taking a shower and looked down, and I was like, wait a minute, all my varicose veins was gone. So, it's just done so much. I went to the doctor. Now my blood pressure had been running high for the last 2 years because I've been trying to figure out what was going on with me before I got diagnosed and everything. And, really high. And I had put the patch on and I didn't even think nothing about it. Like I said, 3 days later, I had to go to the doctor. And when I went in there, she was like, Angela, what you doing? I said, why you say that? She said, girl, your blood pressure is normal and your blood pressure has not been normal in over 2 years. I said, do what? She said, yeah, it's. I said, well, it's got to be the patch because that's the only thing I'm doing. And so, because at that particular time, I was in between medications. So I wasn't even a medication that I was on. So I just give it all thanks to God for being introduced to this patch, because this patch has been awesome for me.
Angie, look, you was very dramatic one time when you were saying that you couldn't even walk from your bed to the dresser to across the room or something. And then you also said that you were literally talking about retirement because you couldn't work.
Yes, I had met the day before I went there. Me and my husband was talking about me going on disability because my health had went down so bad. And for me not to be able to get up and walk across the room, I was like, I don't know what else to do. I didn't know what else to do until the patch came. So, because I was me and him had just had a conversation about me going to sign up for disability. And I was like, this is not what I want. This is not, this is not the type of life I want. This is not the life you want.
This is not the life you want. No. So you all see from Angie's testimony, once again, changed her life. She is so happy. I mean, I didn't see her when I went to North Carolina. I didn't see her walking the way she said she was walking. She was smiling and happy. And I
Mhm.
mean, hanging out. We went out to dinner. I mean, she's getting around just like and so just knowing that people with fibromyalgia, people with, what else? Some of these kind of lupus, things like that. These are kinds of issues that people are in a lot of pain. So this is what I want you to think about as you're listening to this call. Who do you know? Who can you help? This is not just about you. This is about the people around you. So thank you, Angie, for sharing your wonderful testimony.
You're welcome.
All right, so let me get back to this presentation. I won't keep you all long. Okay, now once again, all this info, all the doctor's reviews, all the 80 case studies. If at the top of this site, there's a tab that says testimonies, plenty of testimonies. You click on that tab, you might see neuropathy, you might see heart conditions. There's all kinds of testimonies on that page. So this page is where you want to go. This is where you want to send your doctor because they're going to be impressed, especially with all those doctors' reviews on that page. Now let's talk about our company because I want you to know this is not just any old company. This LifeWave is the fastest growing home-based business company in the world. And the reason we say home-based business is because, as you can tell, we just tell other people about it. We just share this with our friends and relatives. But because of how powerful this patch is, the company is now #1 worldwide. Now, the company is almost 20 years old. It was doing about 20 million a year when we were waving between that time where all those other patches that David Schmidt created were being sold in doctors' offices and stuff. The company's doing about 20 million a year. And then over the last 3 years, everybody, if you would please, I think his son's mic needs to be muted. It's 320 million in the last 3 years. And last year we ended with 430 million. So we're, spread to over 75 countries. So this is not a product that you would see in any other company where they're talking about nutritional products, weight loss, skincare. This is the new this is the new wave of medicine. As you told, I'm going to have to mute someone. Okay, let me mute someone. Sorry. Thank you. And so this, like I said, is not a Me Too product. This company is, according to Business for Home, which monitors home-based businesses, businessforhome.org, you will see that we, as far as momentum, we are the fastest growing company worldwide. So we're just not an ordinary company. You are very fortunate to be hearing about this. If you have a business mind, if you're the kind of person that just says, look, I love helping people. There's no way I can let my aunt who has Parkinson's continue to be in that situation now that I know. See, now you know. Okay, we're telling you what you need to know, and all you got to do is go and tell somebody else. Just go tell them, okay? You don't have to know a lot. Just send them to thisisitinfo.com. They can see themselves, and you put that patch on them. The patch does the work, but that's why our company's growing so fast, okay? Now, what's important in your life? I would imagine that everybody on this call, what's probably the most important thing to you is family. Let me tell you what I think about when I think of my family. I think about my 2 grandsons that are not 1 and 3 years old right now. And I think about maybe when they're 20 years old, I'll be in my, 80s. And guess what? I don't want to be where I'm barely able to walk because I'm in some type of debilitating situation. I want to be vibrant, because nowadays many people are living to be 100 years old. I want to be vibrant when my grandchildren and other relatives are a little bit, they're around me. And I don't want to be in the bed where someone is waiting on me. So that's when I think of family. I want to be around. I want to enjoy, the time freedom, because what we're about to tell you right now is called residual income. That means money that comes in month after month, year after year. It doesn't stop, and it's not going to stop, because many people who are experiencing this patch, they love the way it makes them feel so well. They're not going to stop using it. But as you know, Social Security may not even be around, you guys. They're doing some crazy things up there in Washington, D.C. You never know if it's going to be around. Less debt, better health. Everybody wants all of these things, right? So let's talk about how you can be compensated. I wanted you to put your business hat on again now. This is you. Let's say your name is, you know, let me see some names is on here. Let's say your name is Frankie. Frankie, this is you, Frankie. Let's say that you've been sitting here listening to this Zoom, and you've been thinking about your uncle. You've been thinking about your best friend who's struggling with dementia or something, like literally. It could be anything. Are you thinking about your friend that loves business opportunities? Because this one right here screams opportunity. You find 4 people and you do a call just like the one we're doing right now. Invite them so they can hear the information and get the information firsthand. And you end up with 4 people on your team. That's the first thing we want to show you how to do. These are people that are just using the patches. That's all they're doing. And then you have positioned yourself to be what we call a manager in this, what we call a binary compensation plan. This is how you get paid as a team commission. What do I mean by a team commission? This is you. These are the people that you enrolled and shared these patches with. But guess what? They start telling other people, and it just starts exploding. And every single person that falls into this binary contributes to your income. In other words, you get paid every single time somebody buys a package of these patches. I'm gonna tell you how to get them in a moment. Or as well as if they just reorder them, you get paid every time on all of this activity. And so you can earn up to $25,000 a week just in this way of pay. Second way we get paid, which I'm really excited about, is our matching bonus, where there's unlimited income potential. When I say unlimited, it simply means that there's no limit on how many people you can share this with. So however many people you share this with, they make money in the binary. Go back. They earn money in the binary. The company pays you 25% every single time they earn money. Let's say they go and earn $1,000 this week in the binary. You get $250. What if there were 10 people that you share this with and they start working? Like, for example, you take myself, you enroll me. Do you think it's possible that I might earn $1,000 per week in this binary? You earn 25%. But if you had 10 people, that's $2,500. But those 10 people, let's say they went and shared it with 10 people. That means 100 people on your second level, where you still get paid 20% on whatever they earn in the binary. The people on your third level are just as simply the people in your second level enrolled. They shared it with 10 people. Now there's 1,000 people down here on your third level because 10 people told 10 people told 10 people. Now that's $20,000 in residual. You guys, people are doing this. People are earning money. I know that many of us are earning money on all 3 of these levels and getting residual through infinity in the binary. Now, I know you're wondering, how can you get started? Very simply, the person who invited you, it'll be Tony or Hassan. I see Hassan on here. Gwen, anybody who invited you would probably have texted you this form right here. Because it just kind of lets you know how you can get these patches, your personal information, how you're going to pay for them. You just fill this form out. You can print it out or whatever information in this form, you can let them enter you into the system so that you can get your patches, as well as you can get into the binary. Let me take a closer look at these packages. Now, you could simply say, well, you know what? I just want to be a customer. I just want to try them for 1 month. You can do that, but guess what? The retail price on these patches is $150 for a 30-day supply. Now look at this. Let me share with you these what a 30-day supply looks like. These 30 patches, because you need them every day of the month, come into this envelope, which in turn is put in this beautiful packaging here. So if you get 30 patches, that's $100 per sleeve, versus if you get it in a package like the silver pack, you get 3 of them for $300. So now you're paying $100 per sleeve as opposed to $150 as a retail customer. I always like to get things at wholesale. You don't have to. If you say, well, I don't want to tell nobody, I just want to use it for myself, that's fine. You have the option, pay $150 for 1 sleeve or $100 per sleeve to get a package. Now, you don't have to buy $300 every time you want to get these. You can, the next month, if you want to get 1 sleeve, you can do that. But this is just a package which allows you to get them at a discounted price. The gold package, you can get 5 of them for $500. So that's $100 each, is $500, plus they throw in another bonus sleeve for doing that. But this is for people who know for a fact, I want to build this thing. I got plenty of people I want to send some patches to. You normally, I put them in this envelope right here, and it tells all those benefits that I was talking about. It also talks about where you place the patch. It tells you where to get the information. This is it, info.com. So if you give this envelope and this card to somebody and put some patches inside, they know everything they kind of need to know about the patch. You can explain it, but you send those out to people or meet them, and you put 3 to 5 patches in one of those envelopes. That's what you do with all these sleeves. There's 5 of them. Now, if you're really serious about, and this position goal is what allows you to become a manager. If you come in as a silver, you can always upgrade to gold later and just pay the difference of $200, because you do need to be a gold to get promoted in our company. The diamond pack is for people who are really serious. Now, I'm the kind of person, if I do something, I do it all the way. I'm serious. But when we first heard about this, what I was serious about was helping people. I promise you, the money was not even on my mind. I was just so impressed with what the product was doing for us, as well as other people that I heard about. So we got the diamond pack because I had a lot of people I wanted to help. We had a huge vision. We made a list of 25 couples that my husband and I know. And we also made a list of 25 individuals that were singles. And we gave each couple an envelope with 10 patches in it, 5 for the wife, 5 for the husband. Same thing we did for the single people. We gave them 5 patches. And I'm not saying you have to give people 5, but we just did, because that's what we did. We ended up using 12 of those sleeves by doing that, which left us with 12 and a half sleeves. That left us with 6 sleeves. What do we do with those 6 sleeves? My husband and I use these 30-day supplies for ourselves for the next 90 days. Now, here's what's important. You want to be on what we call a monthly auto subscription if you are trying to earn money, because the money is generated when people place these orders. For one sleeve, you get a chance to keep your points, and you can earn up to $100 a week. That's enough to pay for your 1 month subscription right there, because you only have to spend $100, but you're gonna make $400 that month if you just get 1 sleeve. If you get 2 sleeves, it qualifies you to earn up to the $25,000. You have everybody. I don't care how much you make in this company. You only have to do 2 sleeves to qualify that. But if you're married, you need 1 for yourself and 1 for your spouse. So that's really not a lot to ask for, right? So the good thing about the diamond pack is you don't have to do a subscription for 90 days. And that's why I said those 6 sleeves that were left over was enough for me and my husband to use for the next 90 days. Here's the other thing I like about the diamond pack. You get paid as if you were a top position in the company, which means if you sign up another diamond, you make $500. If you're not a diamond, you only make $200. So the difference between the 200 and the 500 is $300 that rolls up to the person above you who is a diamond or who is a senior director. That's what I mean. You're getting paid as a senior director. If you get the diamond pack, you get paid for 90 days as a senior director. So all those benefits I just described, hopefully, it wasn't too overwhelming, but we can explain it again to you if you have any questions after this call. So now, these are cards I was telling you about. We can show you how to get those. But this is at team.com is a site that we use. It's a system that we use to do this business. It is very simple, but basically you're just sharing it with people, sending out patches, putting them on calls like this. They sign up and they do the same thing you do. It just keeps duplicating. Now, you guys, it's time for you to make your move, because we've shared all this information with you. But, just want to know, if you're serious about your dreams, this business right here not only can make you healthy, it promise you're going to be healthy, but you literally could become wealthy and be able to do some of the things that you want to do, like travel, have more time with your family. So we hope this is, hope for your future. And we want you to get started with the X39 right away. So now, remember that binary that I told you about. The people that get into the binary first get to override every single person that comes in after them. That's why timing and positioning is so important here. So I want to thank you all for your time. Thank you for those powerful testimonies. Run and tell somebody what you heard. but more importantly, get back to Tony so that he can get you positioned. All right. You all have a wonderful evening.